Nope. Because so, as I said yesterday, it's okay. We're going to take quite a leap because we'll start with chapter number 10, which is one of the 3 chapters of the circulatory system. Now, guys, in this book here, they refer to this system here as the circulatory system, which is mainly as okay a name based on the physiology. Okay, because this system here is mainly responsible for, you can say, okay, the circulation of blood. Now, you may come across another name for this system, which is the cardiovascular system. Where I mean, you'll say that, okay, this is going to be more of an anatomical name. Why? Because it's based on the 2 structures, mainly the heart. And we can say, yes, okay, vascular is your blood vessels. Okay, so yes, okay, in some books, you may say, okay, where is the circulatory system is missing? Well, okay, it may just be referred to as the cardiovascular system. Yep. Okay, but we can say, okay, this name is more based on, yes, okay, the anatomical structures, the heart and the blood vessels. Whereas this name is more, yes, okay, based on the function of the system, which is mainly to keep the blood in circulation. Okay, so now, guys, the first thing that we're going to be talking about is going to be, before we do that, let's just say, okay, what are the basic functions of your circulatory system? Okay. Now, functions. Now, mainly, yes, okay. The primary function of your circulatory system is to maintain homeostasis. And if you guys remember what homeostasis was, it says, okay, that ideal environment of the body. Yeah, okay. Now, how is that going to work? How is it that the circulatory system is going to be able to maintain the homeostasis? One, we can say, is okay, this is mainly going to be, okay, the system that will, we can say, okay, carry nutrients to the cells. Clear? Okay. So what is nutrients going to be? Yes, okay, pretty much, okay, anything that we get from the food that we eat. Okay, while you eat it or ingest it, it's digested into nutrients, after which it goes, okay, these nutrients are going to be absorbed into the bloodstream, or into the blood. And it's actually going to be the blood's job to carry it from the gut to the different cells, so that these nutrients can be used by the cells. Okay, had it not been for blood, yes, okay, there was going to be no medium which could transport the nutrients from the gut to the cells. Not just nutrients, but it's also going to be responsible for primarily we can say carry oxygen. Now mainly just to kill two birds in one stone. It's from the lungs to the cells. Okay, so the air that we inhale, whatever oxygen is in that air, that is going to be absorbed from the lungs or from the airways into the blood, and is mainly going to be the job of the blood to carry that oxygen from the lungs to the cells, and mainly deliver it to the cells. Okay, now what mainly happens at the cells is that the blood that comes to the cells brings oxygen, delivers that oxygen to the cells. But on the other hand, actually strikes a deal with the cells, saying, well, I'm going to deliver some fresh oxygen. Do you have any waste gases you want to get rid of? Now, what the cells are going to have as a result of cellular respiration is going to produce carbon dioxide. Okay, which is mainly derived from the breakdown of your carbohydrates. Okay, so one waste product from cellular respiration is going to be carbon dioxide. So the blood actually is going to pick this carbon dioxide and carry it from the cells back to the lungs, so that you may exhale that out. Okay, so not only responsible for us supplying fresh oxygen to the cells, but also removing the carbon dioxide that the cells produced as a breakdown of the glucose. And yes, of course, that's in presence of oxygen. Okay, by removing that carbon dioxide from the cells, taking it back to the lungs so that it can be exhaled out. Did you guys get that? Another thing. No, that's the same. Blood is also going to be responsible for, we can say, transporting hormones. Okay, now where did these hormones come from? They were mainly secreted by endocrine glands. But if you guys remember back, what we said was that an endocrine gland was a gland that secretes its secretion into the blood. And after that, it's mainly going to, and that secretion, that was all mainly what we call hormones. Okay, so once the endocrine gland secretes the secretions into the blood, that's why we call them endocrine glands, is now going to be the job of the blood to transport these hormones to what we can call the target cells. Okay, what would be a target cell? A cell on which, which is going to have the suitable receptor upon which this hormone here can act and cause these cells to produce certain functions. Did that make sense? So it's going to be the job of your blood to transport the hormones from the endocrine glands to the target cells. Another thing that the blood does, and we can mainly say just by circulation of blood. But that mainly will lead to, we can say heat production of the body. So mainly keeping the body's temperature within a normal range. Or at least perform that part of homeostasis to make sure that the body doesn't fall too low in its temperature. Okay. And that may explain, once somebody is dead or has died, that he or she turns cold because there's no more blood circulation. Did that make sense? So if you worry, if you wonder why is it that this person is so cold right now, that's mainly because, he is dead. No, when you're dead, there's no circulation. And as a result of, the circulation ceased, that's that medium which was going to keep the body at its temperature, provided with the heat energy is not there. Or at least, it's not circulating anymore. Now, we can mainly say another function would be to regulate the fluid balance. Okay. And we can mainly say, doing so is mainly by, we can say, regulating the blood pressure. Now, of course, since it's a matter of the fluid here. Okay. It's most likely going to do this in coordination with, we can say your kidneys. Okay. Because you can drink, let's say, gallons and gallons and gallons of water. Okay. Some of that water, is going to, become part of your blood. Okay. Now, and if you keep on drinking like that, ultimately, what may happen is that, yes, you may be overloaded with fluid. Or in this case, I guess, you may be overloaded with blood. Okay. Although that's not going to be healthy. So what is going to be the job? Yes, your kidney, helps you, the circulatory system to reduce the fluid in your body. Okay. And that way, you can say regulate the blood pressure. Okay. But the kidneys can't do that on its own. It's going to there's going to be a role of your circulatory system as well. we can say, okay, regulate the, or actually I can call it, okay, an acid-base balance. Now, if you guys remember, that's okay, when we talked about that's okay, acid and base, we said. Now, don't measure along, that's okay, the pH scale. And mainly, it's okay by saying it's okay to regulate it at a balance. That mainly will mean that, okay, as we want the pH of blood to be neutral. Okay, which in this case is okay for blood was a pH of 7.4. Okay, we can say that just okay if the pH falls, the pH of the blood falls, the blood may become acidic. On the other hand, we can say it's okay if the pH of the blood rises, the blood may become basic or alkaline. If the blood, for instance, okay, become acidic, that is what you will call acidosis. If it became too alkaline, that is what we can call as okay. Yeah, okay. So we don't want it to become too acidic. We don't want it to become too basic. Okay. We want it to be maintained at a neutral pH. But yes, okay, the circulatory system has its ways to, let's say, it's okay, prevent it from becoming too acidic or prevent it from coming too basic. But there are conditions where, okay, yes, the blood may become too acidic or too basic. And as you can see, it's okay, that can be as okay, different reasons for that. Mainly as okay, things such as metabolic disorders, um, respiratory disorders, even as okay, problems with the kidneys, even as okay, problems with okay, your liver as well. Okay. Can mainly cause okay, this acid-base balance of your blood may become either too acidic or alkaline. Okay. But this mainly happens because okay, other tissues either become too acidic or too alkaline. So that's okay, mainly remove the acidity from those tissues into the blood or vice versa. Last but not the least. Now, some people may say that's okay, fighting infections. That's not going to be just. So we may just okay, just going to use a little broader term, and we can say it's okay, provide the body with immunity. Okay. Yeah, yes, okay. When we say that, yes, okay. And this comes, for instance, okay, fighting infections. Clear, okay. But we can also say, okay, fighting other foreign substances. Okay. Even things such as you can say, okay, neutralizing uh, toxins. Okay, so what we mainly can say is okay that immunity or mean is okay total and complete protection against different things. Okay. So this plus yes okay some other functions are mainly going to be the main jobs of your circulatory versus or um, cardiovascular system. Okay. Any questions yet? Nope. Okay, guys. Now let's talk blood. Now, just a few fun facts about blood. And we can mainly say that an adult, normal human being will have anything between, it's okay, 5 to 6 liters of blood. Now, many of you may not be as okay familiar with this unit here. So what can we say is, okay, 5 to 6 liters is going to be approximately 1.25 to 1.5 gallon. Or we can actually say it's okay, anything between 10 to 12 pints of blood. Okay. So that's the total volume of blood. So we can say, okay, the total blood volume is going to be as okay, 5 to 6 liters or 10 to 12 pints. Okay. Why do we measure it in terms of volume? Mainly because, okay, blood, after all, is a liquid medium. Okay. Had it been solid, like let's say, it's okay, the kidney, the liver, the brain, so and so, it would not have been expressed in, okay, yes, volume. Neither would we, as okay, measure it in units of volumes, but then would have been, yes, okay, it would have been a mass. But that would only have been the case as okay, had the blood, or when we talk about something which, for instance, okay, is solid. Okay, so for things which either are liquid, just like blood, or things which are like gases, it's always going to be as okay, measured in volumes. But this volume here, or this range here, is the normal blood volume of an adult human being. Did you guys get that? Okay. Now, guys, when we look at the blood, now the blood mainly, yes, okay, can be divided into two basic, or we may call components. Okay. One of them is going to be, is okay, what we will refer to as the liquid component of blood. For now, yes, okay, we will call that plasma. Okay, so those 5 to 6 liters, actually, that's okay, going to be, yes, okay, a mixture of the liquid components, which we will call plasma, versus the form components, which we mean, yes, okay, just will refer to as the salts. Okay. But yes, okay, blood as it is circulating in your body, which means yes, okay, we will have the plasma. And in this plasma is going to be, yes, okay, the cells. Okay. They can separate these two here, yes, okay, in a lab. That's mainly, yes, okay, or that may be, yes, okay, one of the things that they do when they take your blood sample. That they separate these things. Okay, yes, the cells would end up at the bottom, and okay, yes, the plasma is going to be, yes, okay, floating on the top. Okay.
What are those cells called?
We'll come to that, my dear. Don't jump ahead. Does namak ke mamra. Yeah. Now, as far as the 5 to 6 liters of your plasma of blood is concerned, 55% of that is constituted of your plasma. So 55% of your entire blood volume ideally is okay is made up of what we call plasma, which is the liquid component of blood. Whereas on the other hand, we can say it's okay, the remaining 45% of your blood is made up of the form components or the cells. Okay. Now, guys, this is, we can say it's okay, the normal distribution of plasma versus cells, or liquid component versus form component. Okay. And what we actually is okay, call this is going to, yes, okay, be referred to as a actually going to be what we refer to as the hematocrit. Hematocrit of blood. Okay. Now it is, yes, okay, a form of blood test, but the whole is okay. Purpose of this blood test is that the main is okay, are just measuring how much of your blood is constituted of your cells. Okay. So normally, as okay, that volume should come out to 45%. We mainly mean okay, 45% of your blood volume is made up of cells, which mainly will just mean that okay, as 55 is what is remaining. But when they measure your hematocrit is the percentage of your blood constituted of cells. Okay. Now, guys, when we talk of the cells or the form elements, they're going to be as okay, we can say it's okay, 3 main populations of cells. Now, the first population is going to be as okay, what we'll call the red blood cells. Okay. Now, red blood cells, that's okay. Some people may like to just okay abbreviate. So they can also be referred to as the RBCs. Okay. Now, red blood cell is more of a layman word, layman term. The actual term or technical term is going to be erythrocytes. Another population of the cells is what we can call the white blood cells, abbreviated as WBC. But it's going to be white blood cells. And what we said was that these white blood cells also could be referred to as being the leukocytes. We can say it's okay, large population of blood cells is going to be as okay what can be referred to as platelets. Okay. But these platelets here is okay. They also need to go under the name site. So that's going to be as okay what we'll call the thrombocytes. Okay. So as far as the cells are concerned, we have three major groups of blood cells: the red blood cells, the white blood cells, and the platelets, also known as erythrocytes, leukocytes, and thrombocytes. Did you guys get that? Okay. Now, sorry. Um, the white blood cells are your WBCs or leukocytes. Can it's okay further be subclassified but we'll take that classification up once we start talking in detail about the cells. Okay, so saying yes, okay, your book prime, yes, okay, starts talking about plasma first. Let's take the plasma first. Okay, but what you need to remember is that's okay, plasma is just going to be okay, the liquid component of blood. But now just stick with that information. Okay, what does it do? It constitutes 55% of your blood volume, which was anything between 5 to 6 liters or 10 to 12 pints. Whereas the remaining 45% of your 5 to 6 liters or 10 to 12 pints of the blood volume was made up of what we can call the form components, or known as the cells, which was of three types of cells: the red blood cells, the white blood cells, and the platelets. Did you guys get that? Okay, which we said was okay, yes. Now, guys, it's not going to be enough to say that the liquid component of blood is known as plasma and the form component of blood is cells. Okay, that would have been okay, a 5 minute thing to talk about blood. So what we're going to do now is actually say, okay, what makes up what we know as plasma? What are going to be the ingredients in plasma? Okay. You may present something on a table and say, well, okay, yes, this is a cake. Okay, everybody can see it's a cake, but they have to dig deeper and to know that's okay, what kind of cake it is. Is it a lava cake? Is it a chocolate cake? Is it a vanilla cake? What kind of filling does it have? Okay. What kind of cream is going to be there? Okay. Things like that. Okay. Have somebody added a little bit, it's okay, aroma of alcohol into it? No, some people may not say, okay, no. Okay. But anyways, that's the only thing that you can get to know if you take a bite of it, or it's okay, further analyze that cake that you mainly would do by eating. So what we're going to do here, not eat or drink the plasma, but actually it's okay, look what makes up the plasma. And then you can say, okay, oh, this was a chocolate cake with strawberry cream and this and that filling and so on. So, okay. But major ingredient of plasma. The major ingredient of plasma is going to be water. Okay. As a matter of fact, they say it's okay, anything between 95 to 97% of plasma is made up of nothing but water. Okay, we're just going to stick with this number. That's fine. Okay. So a great percentage of the plasma, which is the liquid component of blood, is made up of water. And what is the water is? Besides, you may say, okay, something that we drink. Well, why would you drink it? Why would you need to drink water? Why can't we just keep on drinking Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Sprite or juice?
Hydrates.
Hydrates. Okay, good. And even if you say, it's okay, let's drink some Coca-Cola, let's just live on Coca-Cola. Okay, even that has water, right? Okay, otherwise, okay. Besides, that's okay, hydrates. But what is the water is? No idea?
Is it is it electrolyte?
No. Pure water will not have electrolytes. Pure water will be just H2O.
Hydrogen and oxygen.
Pardon me there?
Hydrogen and oxygen.
Okay. We already got that there.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's fine. But when we say it's okay, 90% plus of the blood, which is a vital liquid to maintain life, is made up of water. What does that make water to be? OMG. Source of life. Show me any living organism on the surface of this earth which doesn't have a little or more water in it. Have you ever wondered why all those missions to Mars, Venus, Platoon, and all those, Pluto, and all those are about? to find life there. That you really expect that there are going to be some green fellows jumping out from behind a rock and say, yes, I'm the life on this planet here. Have anybody really brought back ET from any of those stars, satellites, etc., etc.? Have anybody heard of anybody bringing ET back home? Yes, Jennifer? Did they bring ET home from us, or back to Earth?
Yeah.
Maybe only in Hollywood, not in real life. Okay, you don't see the astronaut walking out, but okay, yes, another fellow will say, okay, well, we just brought this guy back from the moon or whatever. So what did they get from there? Soil, or whatever they may call it. And what did they look for? Water. Because if they find water in that soil, that means that, okay, there once might have been life. So you may say, okay, that was a shitty fluid. 90% of it was just made out of water. What good is that going to do? Okay. It, after all, is okay, is the source of life. Or we can say, okay, it is sign of life. Okay. So no wonder that, okay, 90% plus or 50% of, okay, probably is, okay, one of the most vital fluids in the body is made up of nothing but water. Now, how did that water become part of your blood? Or let's say plasma. How did that water get into your blood or plasma? Why do you drink water in the first place?
To hydrate you, give you oxygen.
Okay, good. Okay. But that blood, that not sorry, I was about to say blood. The water that you drink gets absorbed from your gut, becomes part of blood, or becomes part of plasma. Clear? Okay. So it's going to be okay absorbed from your colon. And okay, whatever is surplus, because it's okay, your body needs to get rinsed out as well. So it's okay, the surplus is going to be peed out. That's why it's okay, this balance is going to be maintained. Okay, good. What else would there be in blood or in plasma? We can say it's okay, salts and minerals. And we can even say it's okay, things such as electrolytes. Pretty much okay, as a salts like okay, sodium chloride is going to become electrolytes. Okay, we can say different minerals like calcium, potassium, phosphorus, etc., etc. Okay, but where are they going to be? They mean as okay, going to be mixed as okay in the plasma. Okay, so whether it was salt like sodium chloride, okay, we can use as okay different other minerals like calcium, potassium, phosphorus, sorry, potassium. Okay, that's chloride, etc., right, okay, are going to be as okay in your plasma. Okay, and why do we need them? Especially as okay when we talk about plasma. Oh, sorry, not plasma, sorry, sodium. Especially as okay when we talk about as okay potassium. Okay. These are going to be as okay vital electrolytes. Okay, so of course it's okay. Vital electrolytes, or it's okay that action potential that we mentioned yesterday when talk about contraction of your muscles. Even as okay, these same electrolytes are going to play a vital role in action potential of your nerves. Right, okay. But what's going to be the main medium in the body which made us okay is going to be responsible for carrying these electrolytes is going to be your blood. Or which component of blood? The plasma. Okay. So things such as okay, different salts, minerals, and okay, which becomes as okay, electrolytes, yes, okay, are going to be carried in the plasma. Now, is there anybody who knows the importance of salt?
You could use that to say like in water to help like provide electrolytes.
Okay, good. It's a good source of electrolytes. Okay. It's also going to just okay help your body to retain fluid. Okay. Now don't do this experiment. Whereas okay, you may say okay, when you, for instance, okay, if you take a big tablespoon full of salt and eat that, what's going to have next?
Probably throw up or something. I don't,
Okay, let's not go there.
You're gonna feel thirsty. Maybe
Huh? Pamela,
you're gonna want water after.
you get
You wanna
thirsty.
drink.
And why is that? Mainly because, okay, due to that salt, a lot of fluid is okay, actually is being taken out of your blood. So the plasma volume will fall. And your brain register, well, okay, the plasma volume runs low. And the first that's okay, the actual is okay, first human response to that is you feel thirst. And that's when you go and look for okay, something to drink. Right? That's okay, that's salt actually is okay, it helps your body to, you can say it's okay, reabsorb fluid. Have you heard of the king who had 3 sons? Maybe this story will tell you a little bit about it, okay, what the importance of salt is. Now, there was a king, he had 3 sons. He loved all his 3 sons equally. But sometimes it's okay, or the time was that he had to, it's okay, take a decision. Because who is going to, it's okay, inherit my kingdom after me? So he mainly put a question to his 3 sons, and me, it's okay. I said, okay, whoever is going to give me the best answer is going to inherit the kingdom after me. So I will mean as okay, announce him as being the foreign king. Now he asked his sons. Very vital question. How much do you love me? Now the first of his sons was a little bit artistic, not artistic, artistic, like arts and things like that, arts, music, so on. So he mainly said, well, okay, Dad, I love you as much or more, you're more than the sweetest melodies of music and the best pieces of art. The king knew his son, and he was happy with the answer. Then he asked his second son, how much do you love me, sonny? And this son was a little bit about riches, wealth. So he said, well, okay, Dad, I love you more than all the treasures on the surface of the earth. Now the king is pleased again. Then he asked his third son, yes, sonny, how much do you love me? And this son goes, Dad, I love you more than salt. And Mr. King or royalty was pissed. So he threw him out of his kingdom and said, okay, if I see you in my kingdom after this, you're going to get executed. But that was not the answer that he expected. So this poor lad is okay, he's thrown out of his father's kingdom, walks into a neighboring kingdom where the king had died. And their ritual in that kingdom was made as okay to collect all as okay possible hopefuls of becoming a king, and they will let a bird loose. And whoever's had that bird sat on, yes, okay, they will nominate him as the king. So this young prince made yes, okay, just walked into that gathering, not really knowing what was going on. But the bird came and sat on his head, and they nominated him as king. No, many, yes, okay, the times passes by, and after some time he said, okay, maybe it's time that I, okay, yes, I try to come at good terms with my father. So he invites the king, his father, over. I said, okay, why don't you let me, yes, okay, give me a chance to, yes, okay, offer you my hospitality. Good. The king comes. Now, what he orders his chefs is make the most delicious looking dishes. Everything should just look mouth watering, but don't put as much as 1 grain of salt into any of those dishes. Now his dad comes, didn't realize, of course, okay, he thought, okay, son is dead anyway, so, but stays for a couple of days, and okay, yes, and he said, okay, it's about time to leave. I have to go back to my kingdom and take care of that. And now the son didn't really want his dad to leave, but he said, okay, why, Your Royal Highness, is there anything that you didn't feel up to the mark since you leave so soon? And he said, okay, everything was fine, but are you lacking salt in your kingdom? Because I have a lot of salt in my kingdom. If you want, I can always send some more. And he go, why? And he say, okay, the dishes look okay, mouth watering, but damn it, yes, okay, there was no taste in it because there was no salt. And other son knew, yes, okay, now the iron is ready to get hammered. So he said, well, okay, well, I'm your very the same son that you threw out of your kingdom 10, 15 years ago because I love you more than salt. So you can see, it's okay, what a little grain of salt can do to the most, that's okay, mouth-watering dishes. And okay, yes, the king realized, yes, I should have chosen this son rather than, okay, yes, more than, okay, yes, all the melodies and paintings and all the riches of the world. So, yes. But that was salt. Okay. But good is good, but then too much good is bad. So don't eat salt in tablespoons or dinner spoons. Okay, guys. Now another thing. that's going to be be transported by the plasma is going to be hormones. Yeah. Okay. So what we actually said earlier was that yes, that the hormones was and a large we just says being transported by blood. But actually to be correct, it's going to be the plasma in the blood that actually is going to be responsible for transporting the hormones. Okay. Or, because we can say with the help of what we actually we'll talk about in just a little bit is going to be what we call plasma proteins. So they actually are going to be some plasma proteins. We mainly call them plasma proteins because these are going to be proteins present in the plasma. Okay. And what they mainly will be is that it's going to be these plasma proteins or some of these plasma proteins onto which the hormone will attach. And be carried in the blood or in the plasma onto your target cells. Whereas these hormones then will attach onto the target cells here. And the job will be done. But when we said that blood carries hormones because it was secretions produced by the endocrine glands, we now actually got more specific and say no, it's not going to be all of the blood that carries the hormones. It's going to be the plasma. Nope. It's not only going to be not going to be all of the plasma, because in the plasma we actually have some proteins called the plasma proteins that will transport the hormones. But what we actually will see is that it's going to be some of these plasma proteins here, which actually are going to be called transporting plasma proteins, that mainly will be responsible for transporting hormones from endocrine glands onto the target tissue. They are being carried in the plasma, and by doing so, mainly transport different substances. Did you guys get that? Okay. Okay. Now just take a short 10 minutes break, and when we come back, we will talk about our plasma proteins. Okay, so see you guys at 10:15. Okay, guys, welcome back. And okay, let's just talk about what we can call this. Okay. You can just call them plasma proteins. Now, the reason that we call them plasma proteins is because, well, okay, that these are going to be plasma, or these are going to be proteins found in the plasma. And what was plasma? A liquid component of blood. Okay, guys. Now, when we talk plasma protein, there are mainly going to be three major proteins that we will mention. One is going to be a fellow called albumin. And you see, that's the protein of an album. Another protein that we will talk about is going to be, what we will call the globulin. Please, guys, this is not globin. Okay? This is globulin. And the last plasma protein that we will talk about is going to be, what we will call fibrinogen. Now, some of you will say, okay, globulin ends with "in," which makes it a protein. Albumin ends with "in," which is a protein. This one doesn't end with "in," but it does in this sense. Because what this gen here is going to mean, yes, okay, we'll talk about that. Now, first of all, or first thing first. Now, out of all these three types of plasma proteins here, albumin is going to be, yes, okay, we can say the most abundant of all plasma proteins. So we actually is, okay, we're looking at, okay, how much albumin do we have in plasma as a plasma protein? How much globulin do we have in plasma as a plasma protein? And how much fibrinogen do we have in plasma as a plasma protein? The protein that's going to be found in the most amount, or is going to be most abundant, will be albumin. Did you guys get that? So the most abundant of the three plasma proteins mentioned here, found in plasma, is going to be albumin. Guys, okay. We can mainly say, okay, now what's going to be, okay, what's going to be, okay, albumin's function? What's going to be, okay, the primary function of albumin in plasma? And what the albumin does, guys, is going to, okay, we can say, okay, exert a I'm going to exert what we call a colloid pressure. Now, dear guys, this pressure here is another example where it's okay, pressure does not mean pushing, but rather means pulling. So this colloid pressure here, which is actually it's okay being applied by the albumin, is going to be a pulling force. Did you guys get that? Just like your osmotic pressure was not a pushing, but rather a pulling force. Now the question just arises, what is it that this colloid pressure here is going to pull? Let's just look at it in this way, guys. Now let's say it's okay, this is your blood. In blood, we have the plasma. In plasma, we say it's okay, we have the albumin. And what this albumin is going to do is, it's going to, it's okay, apply this colloid pressure, which mainly as okay is going to be a pulling force. And what this is going to pull on to, or actually as okay, see, hold on to, is going to be the water in the plasma. Did you guys get that? So what that actually means is that had it not been for the albumin in the plasma, fluid, or let's say it's okay, the water in the plasma would not have been kept inside the plasma due to it's okay, a lack of that colloid pressure applied by the albumin. And what's going to happen then? The water, or it's okay, the water of the plasma will actually it's okay, leak out of the bloodstream and accumulate in the tissues. Clear? Okay. And when fluid accumulate in the tissues, in your body tissues, that's what you call edema. Okay. That's what is known as edema. Okay. So one of the reasons, or one of the things that okay, the plasma, that's okay, that the albumin does, well, okay, we can say it keeps the fluid, or we can say the water within the plasma, because had there been, yes, okay, no albumin, or even yes, okay, if we were low in albumin in the plasma, what was that going to cause? That was going to cause that colloid pressure to be decreased. And as a matter of fact, it's okay, the water from the plasma, but actually that's okay, would leak out and accumulate in the tissues. And that accumulation of fluid in the tissues is what we call edema. Did you guys get that? So you may have seen people with, usually it's okay, it happens in the legs, swollen legs. Okay, that may looks like, okay, as the skin of the legs is going about to rupture. Okay, that's edema. Okay, yeah, since okay, it occurs in the legs, that's why it's okay called leg edema. Okay, now one of the reasons, or that's okay, the primary reason for that is that fluid accumulate in the tissues. Okay. One of the many reasons for edema can be decreased albumin in the plasma that causes a decrease in the colloid pressure. Okay, and it's maybe it's okay, just that chocolate wire between it's okay, the colloid pressure inside your blood versus it's okay, another pressure outside the bloodstream. Or we can maybe say, okay, since the pulling force is reduced inside the blood due to lack of albumin, the fluid may as okay leave the bloodstream and accumulate in the tissues. Okay. Now, all the okay, I just mentioned the legs here as an example, but you can have edema of pretty much okay as any body structure. Okay. Edema of the lungs. So what would that be? Fluid in the lungs. Okay. In the long run, yes, okay, what can that lead to? Infections. Okay. You may have people who, yes, okay, suffer from what you call brain edema. Okay. One of the things that people, yes, okay, may go into coma and things like that is primarily because of brain edema. The brain just swells up. And I'm going to say, hoo, yes, okay, more brain. No. It's not really more brain. It's just that the brain swells up and okay, yes, that's okay, pretty much okay, suffer increased pressure on the brain because that's okay, the skull is not going to expand anymore. So that's okay, that causes that a patient may as okay become comatose and so on. So, okay. But that was okay as a result of a concussion, or even as okay after a stroke. Okay, even after stroke, that's okay. What happens in the area around that area that suffer a stroke issue will come across that they say is okay, brain edema. So what does that mean? That the tissue actually is okay, swells up due to yes, okay, accumulation of fluid in the tissue. Did that make sense? Okay, you twisting your ankle because okay, you stepped wrong on the sidewalk. Even that swelling of your ankle is going to be edema. Okay, because there's going to be yes, okay, certain yes, okay, substance that means yes, okay, will be released from your bloodstream into the tissue spaces. That makes sense? Okay. But, that would be normal. Okay. But, In some cases, okay, where this edema may not be a normal phenomena, can be because of a fall in the albumin in your plasma, which cause, okay, as a decrease in the colloid pressure, which is going to be as, okay, the pulling force which keeps the water in the plasma. So if there's no pulling force, that's okay, that water from the plasma is actually going to leak out of the bloodstream, and in this instance, it's okay, accumulate in the tissues. And that accumulation of fluid in tissues is known as edema. Did I make myself clear? Okay. And yes, okay, you will come across it. That, okay, yes, it may become, yes, okay, a little bit difficult for you to, yes, okay, scan a patient because of edema. Okay. So, just so you know, yes, okay, how to convey that message onwards. Okay. Now, just as okay, since we just mentioned, yes, okay, we can mean it's okay that there may be, yes, okay, two forms of edema. Now, what we mainly have at both forms is that going to be, yes, okay, accumulation of fluid in the tissue. But one is going to be, yes, okay, what we call pitting edema. And the other one is going to be non-pitting edema. Okay. Now, pitting edema mainly is going to be, yes, okay, the kind of edema that, okay, yes, if you apply a pressure on the tissue where there is edema. And okay, when you lift your finger off, you actually, it's okay, find a dip or a pit. That is going to be pitting edema. Okay, now pitting edema is most likely as okay due to as okay decreased albumin, decreased colloid pressure, and so on. So, where the other kind of edema is going to be non-pitting. So when you mean it's okay, you say okay, we still it's okay apply a pressure, but it's okay, even though it's okay, we lift our finger, it's okay, there's no pit. That's going to be, it's okay, what they call non-pitting edema. And as I said, it's okay, this decreased albumin and plasma was just one of the ocean of reasons behind the phenomenon known as edema. Okay, we can even say, okay, if there is poor circulation of blood, for instance, or poor circulation of a fluid, or in this case, as okay, we can say blood. Even in that case, okay, fluid may, yes, okay, start to leak out. Now you can always ask yourself, why would there be a poor circulation of the blood? A patient being bedridden, not moving. Clear, okay? You just sitting on your chair, yes, okay, 24/7. Okay, nowadays, it's okay. Your watch may even tell you, okay, it's time for you to get up, walk around for a minute or two, and okay, let's come back. Why is that? To enhance the circulation of your blood. Okay, So all those things says, okay, primary, that's okay, a poor circulation. You may have a normal albumin level, but just because of that poor circulation, it puts a greater pressure onto the vessel walls of the fluid. And okay, it may just start this, okay, pour out or leak out, if you want to put it that way, into the tissue spaces. So that's why you may see as okay people who have jobs where they stand up for long periods of time without moving. That poor cashier in whatever store, standing in that small, it's okay, 2 feet by 3 feet area. Can't take 2 steps this way or 2 steps that way. Yeah, okay. Soldiers standing guard. Have you guys wondered why in the blue is it that okay, yes, okay, after it's okay, a certain time that they may be ordered to, it's okay, pick up their rifles, take 20 steps this way. I mean, it's okay, just stand still over there. While okay, another soldier comes from there and stands where he is. Just to, yes, okay, maintain, or you can say it's okay, reestablish that circulation. Right. So roughly speaking, yes, okay, what we can say is okay, was okay, yes, one of the major functions of albumin. So apply a colloid pressure, which just like your osmotic pressure is not a pushing, but rather a pulling force. What they're going to do is going to pull, or we can mean it's okay, pull in a sense, it's okay, retain the water of your plasma in the bloodstream and prevent it from leaking out into the tissue spaces, because that leakage of this okay fluid into the tissue spaces will be what we call edema. And okay, yes, that can be a pain in the okay, guys. Now the next one is going to be globulin. And please, guys, as I said, globulin is not globin. Is that clear? Now, the globulins, we can mainly say, okay, there we can say, okay, let's just see this way. We can have it's okay, 3 major types of globulins. One is going to be as okay, what we call the gamma globulins. One is going to be, it's okay, what we'll call the alpha globulins. And that is going to be, it's okay, what we call the beta globulins. Now, guys, gamma globulins. Now, these gamma globulins mainly are going to just okay be vital for we can say producing or formation of what we can call the immunoglobulins. Now, if you look at the word immunoglobulins, well, okay, globulins is because there were globulins, which was a plasma protein. Where you can say it's okay, the word immuno mainly as okay refers to as okay that these have okay as an important role in, we can say it's okay, providing the body with the protection or the immunity, as we talked about. Okay, so these immunoglobulins here mainly as okay, ultimately is going to become as okay what we will refer to as antibodies. Now, some antibodies we develop as we live our lives, which keeps us okay, which provide us more and more and more immunity. Some antibodies is it that we're going to be born with. But if you look at it, and that's going to become helpful, they're going to be as okay part of your plasma. Clear? Okay. So whether you call them immunoglobulins, or as we as okay in a later instance, it's okay, we refer to as them as antibodies, are always going to be found in the plasma because they are a form of plasma proteins. Okay. Now, guys, although it's okay, it's not something that I'll be asking you, but just if somebody is okay is interested, we actually have okay as a total of 5 basic immunoglobulins. And they all are going to be as okay abbreviated at IG. One is going to be IG or immunoglobulin G. Another one is going to be immunoglobulin M. Another one is going to be immunoglobulin A. Another one is going to be immunoglobulin B. Another one is going to be immunoglobulin E. So these are just okay the 5 basic immunoglobulins. Not something that I will ask you, but just if somebody was okay is interested. Next. Okay, we may be running out of room here, so let me just move these two one down a little bit. So that's okay. Another immunoglobulin, model is okay. Globulin that we will have. Let's start with the first alpha. Globulins. Now, alpha globulins, dear guys, that's okay, are still plasma proteins that fall under the category of being globulins. Okay. One of the major jobs that these will have is going to be transport. So when I say it's okay, transmembrane plasma proteins, we can actually say that okay, as one of those transport plasma proteins are going to be globulins. What kind of globulins? Not immunoglobulins or gamma globulins, but rather alpha globulins. Okay, now when it comes to transport, what is that these here mainly as okay are going to be transporting is hormones. Okay. Now please keep in mind that these hormones here that are going to be transported by alpha globulins are going to be as okay hormones which are protein in nature, like your thyroid hormone, your growth hormone, insulin, etc., etc. Prolactin, for instance. All of these are hormones which chemically are proteins. So they are going to be as okay transported in the blood. No, not in the blood, in the plasma. That help of the transport proteins, which is going to be as okay alpha globulins. So these alpha globulins are not only going to as okay be transporting proteins of hormones, proteinous hormones, but also as okay other proteins. This alpha protein here is also going to be responsible for the transportation of a type of fat that we call HDL. Just so you guys, call you may hear of okay as HDL. HDL here, guys, is an abbreviation for what we call high density lipoprotein. There's a form of cholesterol, and usually that's okay when we say cholesterol, we get bad thoughts because we think cholesterol is bad. But this cholesterol here, which is HDL or is okay, high density lipoprotein, it's actually going to be as okay what we refer to as the good cholesterol. So the good cholesterol is what is known as high density lipoprotein, or abbreviated as HDL. So that's pretty much going to be as okay transported by your alpha globulins. The other type of globulins that we said that we had was what we call the beta globulins. Now, beta globulins again, as okay, was also going to be transport proteins. But what these mainly is okay will transport is going to be fats. Okay. And when we say fats, well, okay, that even also includes some hormones, which means okay are fatty in nature or derived from fat. Most of the sex hormones, testosterone, is derived from fat. Okay. Your steroidal hormones, or what we will call is okay, corticoids, okay, are going to be fatty hormones. Okay, fatty nature or derived from fat. Did you guys get that? Right, okay. So, okay, and their hormones, they're still going to be as okay, be transported by the blood. No. By the plasma. No. By the plasma proteins. No. By the beta plasma globulins. Another substance which is going to be as okay, be transported by the beta globulins is going to be as okay what we call the HDL. Now here's okay, the D and the L mainly means the same as the D and L meant in HDL. Okay, so density lipoprotein. Whereas okay, the L mainly as okay is going to be as okay what we'll call no. So there's actually going to be a type of lipoprotein, or we can say the density lipoprotein, which is known as the low density lipoprotein, or referred to as the HDL. And when we talk about cholesterol being bad, well, okay, yes, the bad cholesterol actually was referred to as LDL. So why is bad cholesterol bad? And let's put it this way, good cholesterol good. Yes.
Like bad cholesterol fats are like bad fatty foods, but good cholesterols are like good fats, like olive oil, like healthier fats than like
Okay,
the bad ones.
exactly. But then why is the bad bad?
It builds up on your your walls of your blood vessels. It causes clot.
Exactly. Okay, that arteriosclerosis that we talked about. It's pretty much okay, the bad cholesterols that build up or forms those plaques. Okay, so bad is bad. Bad is absolutely bad. No, bad is definitely, absolutely, completely bad. Then good is good. Now, why is good good? Primarily because it's okay, it doesn't build up and forms those plaques of arteriosclerosis and all that crap. But the good cholesterol, that's one reason that it is good. There's just one sharp edge of the sword. But the good cholesterol is actually just okay, a two-edged sword. So it also has another good factor. It may sound crazy, but actually it's okay. Helps your body to get rid of the bad cholesterol. Now, roughly speaking, what's the source for good cholesterol? Most of them are derived from the plant kingdom. Now, when I say plant kingdom, just as Justine said earlier, olive oil, sunflower, canola, all that, right? Okay. Okay. Yes, okay, fats from nuts, peanuts, and so on. So It's actually recommended that, okay, that you eat one of those packets of peanuts once a day, because that's going to provide your body with enough good cholesterol to eliminate just, okay, the cholesterol that you may, or the bad cholesterol that you may get from the cheeseburger that you just consumed from McDonald's. Okay. If you haven't bycarded that yet. Yeah, okay. Any questions? So the good cholesterol is good because it, well, okay, it doesn't accumulate. Okay, good. Or form those nasty plaques. But also helps your body to just, okay, get rid of the bad cholesterol that will tend to form those nasty plaques and so on. So, did you guys get that? Okay, so you will come across as, okay, these terms HDL and LDL. So HDL is the good cholesterol, LDL is the bad cholesterol. Okay, and what does the LDL stands for and HDL stand for? High density lipoprotein is the HDL, and low density lipoprotein is the LDL. Any questions? Okay. Sorry. Now, guys, as I said, well, okay, when we looked at albumin, we can say it's, okay, it's a protein because it ends with in. We look at the word globulin. Well, okay, yes, it's a protein because it ends with in. Okay, but what I still said, okay, please, please, please do not confuse globulin, because globulin is going to be, as, okay, a plasma protein with globin. Okay, globin, yes, okay, it's still a protein, but that's mainly going to be, as, okay, what we will find in the, what we call the hemoglobin. Okay, and if there's one thing that you don't want hemoglobin in your plasma. Okay, if hemoglobin ends up in your plasma, you may be in TROUBLE. So, okay. So it's just two letters in or out that, okay, makes a hell of a difference. But both globin and globulin were proteins. When we talk about plasma proteins, it's going to be the globulins. Okay? And when we talk hemoglobin, it's going to be globin. But this is still going to be a protein, but not a protein that you will have in the plasma. Now, the last fellow that I mentioned as being, yes, a plasma protein was what we called fibrinogen. Now, some of you will still say, but Mike, it doesn't end with in. So let's just look at this fellow here. Now, if you just look at the word fibrinogen, it is going to be made up of what we call fibrin. And that's actually going to be the protein that we will get from what is known as fibrinogen. Because what did the word gen mean? actually meant to create. Okay. But when we look at fibrinogen, guys, and that's going to be a protein which is only in plasma. And we'll talk about that in just a little while. Because fibrinogen, there's a lot of underlining here. Or if you say fibrinogen, this is going to be as okay, we can say it's okay, an inactive protein. Or we can say it's okay, as per this way, an inactive form of the protein known as fibrin. Okay. Which mainly means that fibrinogen, which only is going to be found in plasma, is going to become activated into an active form known as fibrin, which you now can see as okay ends with in and makes it a protein. Now, if you look at the word fibrin, what do you see? Fibrin. So what the fibrin actually is going to be is okay, a strand-like protein like this. Bigger or smaller fibers. Yeah, okay. So where is it derived from? The inactive form called fibrinogen, which is found in plasma. Now the question may just arise, okay, what causes the fibrinogen to get activated into this form called fibrin? That is mainly as okay going to be as okay a process or something that we see as a part of clotting of blood. So mainly as okay when the blood needs to clot. Why do we want, or why is it that we may need the blood to clot? Mainly because okay, a bleeding is happening somewhere. Okay, so one of the steps or final steps to stop that bleeding is going to be clotting of blood. And as a final step of the clotting of blood, that means going to be that fibrinogen, which we have in the plasma, becomes activated, or we can actually say, okay, end up as okay, producing the protein that will become fibrin, which is does these fibrin strands. And what these fibrin strands are going to do is made as okay, mingle together and form as okay, this network here, which we actually as okay, just will call a fibrin meshwork, which mainly as okay is going to be provide the foundation for the blood clot.
Just a quick question. The clotting of blood happens before the fibrinogen activates or after it
No,
activates?
it's no. Let's put it this way: the conversion of fibrinogen into its active form, which we'll call fibrin, is going to be one of the final steps of your clotting of the blood. Okay, so okay, we'll talk more about that later on in this chapter. Probably not today, most likely we'll get there tomorrow. Okay? Did that make sense? Right, okay. So now what we earlier said that plasma was. Or what was it that we started saying that plasma was? Liquid component of blood, right? Did you guys get that? Yeah, okay. But, well, okay. For me, there's no ending. Because now we actually, okay, can say is plasma. Well, okay, yes, is the liquid component of blood. And it contains fibrinogen. Now what we need to is okay, put in this empty space here is going to be it's okay a magical word. Because it's going to be unclotted blood. That makes sense. So what is that plasma now is going to be? It's going to be the liquid component of unclotted blood, blood that hasn't clotted. The liquid component of blood that hasn't clotted is what we call plasma. And what that plasma will have is fibrinogen.
I just have a question. So the fibrinogen
Hmm.
basically clots the blood?
No, not really. Unless the fibrinogen isn't converted into fibrin, the blood will not clot.
Okay, and it's converted to fibrin by being
We talk about that.
activated. Oh, okay.
You can put it that way, activated. Okay. But we talk more about that, not in a whole lot of crazy details towards the end of this chapter here. Okay. But for now, just remember this much. So what we started off saying was plasma was the liquid component of blood. Okay. The blood is right now circulating in your body. If we took the liquid from that, was okay, look at that liquid component of your blood as it is circulating, not clotting. We will call that liquid component plasma. Okay. And we can mainly say, okay, one of the reasons that it is not clotting is because, well, okay, that the fibrinogen hasn't been converted into fibrin. Okay. If something goes on and okay, stimulates the fibrinogen to be converted into fibrin, that clot will be formed. Did that explain it? Right, okay, just like you put a batter in a frame. You can't serve this and say, well, this is a cake. You have to bake it before it can be called a cake, right? Unless somebody wants to re-eat, that's okay, plain batter. Okay. Did that make sense? Clear? Okay. So now comes the question. Now, some of you may have heard of something called serum. Not sebum, but serum. Have any of you heard of serum? Not a serum that you can buy, okay, the cosmetic aisles in a store. We're not talking of those serums, okay? Okay. That may be as okay, serum, but okay, not the serum that we talk about here. Or maybe it is, who knows? But literally, that's okay. What would a serum be? Well, guys, it's saying going to be as okay. We can say it's okay. The liquid component of blood. Right? But it does not contain fibrinogen. And why is that? Because serum is going to be the liquid component of clotted blood. And the reason that it doesn't contain fibrinogen is because this fibrinogen here is okay, was converted into fibrin, which caused the blood to clot. For you as okay, that blood sample will still have okay some liquid, which is going to be serum. Okay. But chemically, yes, okay, what we can say is okay, is going to be yes, okay. The difference between plasma and serum is that plasma has fibrinogen because that fibrinogen has not yet been converted into fibrin. And since that fibrinogen has not yet been converted into fibrin, the blood still remains unclotted. And the liquid component of that will be called plasma. Whereas on the other hand, we say, okay, we have blood, which has clotted. Why would it clot? Because the fibrinogen was converted into fibrin. And as a result of that, that's going to cause that the blood will clot. But that clotted blood will still have okay, some liquid that we call serum. Okay. And the chemical composition is, well, okay, serum still going to have hormones? Yes. Is it still going to have other proteins like albumin, globulins, so on so? Yes. Is it still going to have water? Yes. The only thing that it won't have is fibrinogen because that fibrinogen was converted into fibrin to cause the blood to clot. Do you guys get that? Now you may say, well, okay, so the serum that we buy from the makeup store, what is that?
Keeps our skin nice.
Okay, okay. That was the physiology of it. Okay, good. So is that why what were the names? The Carcossians were having a serum mask once, but they were wearing a blood mask. I don't know whose blood that was, but they actually had a mask, a film of blood applied onto their faces. So maybe they say, okay, this serum, that serum, it's same serum. It spells the same, it comes from homes. I know. You guys never read about that one? You may be able to Google search it if you want to use your time on that. That's up to you guys. But yes, okay, that's what they did once.
I think it's called like a vampire facial or
Okay,
something. Where you put
it's okay. Who asked for rub blood on their face? Well, okay. Okay. So do you guys believe in vampires?
No.
No. Do you think they exist?
Logically, maybe cannibalism, but no.
Ah, no, cannibals would eat the flesh. They may not be into all that bloody
No,
shit.
but I'm saying in logical terms because they also take the blood as well. So that's what I was
Okay, yeah.
just.
Let's wash down that, okay, yes, extra beef with some blood, right? Okay. Rather than drinking uh Coca-Cola or red wine or whatever. Okay, guys. So that's okay. That was your plasma. No, not yet. There's going to be one last thing that the plasma is going to carry. And some of you guys may say, is there anything left? Now, can anybody guess what that last thing would be that can be as okay? Carried on by the plasma. Have I ever played Hangman with you guys yet?
No, we've never played Hangman.
Okay, then let's start it. And guys, you have to get two consonants right to guess a vowel, okay? That's the rule. Anybody wants to pull the first trigger?
S.
Huh?
The letter S as in snake.
As in snake.
T.
Huh?
Letter T.
T as in Tom.
Yes.
A as an apple. W.
E.
Too late.
Oh, whatever.
But hangman is not going to get hanged. Let him go. Waste. Now, what would be waste? What could be an example of waste? Carbon dioxide is a waste. Clear? Okay. Well, okay, what becomes urine? Clear? Okay. Okay. Urea, creatinine. Okay. Things which ultimately as okay are going to be as okay filtered out of the plasma or blood in your kidneys and become pee is going to be waste. Okay. Some waste products may be as okay excreted from the plasma in form of sweat. Okay. But just put it this way, guys. Anything that okay the body will use, it will use it for its own purpose. But at the end of that chemical reaction, there is going to be as okay some waste products. Okay, which we call waste, maybe because okay the body will not need it anymore. Okay, so that's going to be as okay excreted from the body. Whereas okay from the side where the waste is produced, just okay the excretion plant. That's okay. It needs to be transported. So that's going to be as okay in the blood. Or more correctly, plasma. So plasma will also transport waste. Okay. Now the major kind of waste that we will talk about, especially as okay when we get to okay over sorry. Urinary system is going to be referred to as metabolic waste. Waste from metabolism, or more rather, catabolism is going to produce some waste. Did you guys get that? Okay. But roughly speaking, guys, okay, these or these walls are somehow just okay possible detailed account about your plasma, which made 55% of your blood. 90% plus of that plasma was water. And the remaining of the plasma was made up of these different substances that we said was being buried by the plasma or being a part of the plasma. Different salts, electrolytes, so and so. Okay. Hormones, your plasma proteins. Now, okay, it's a big bite of your plasma is going to be plasma proteins. Okay. Please know their types, their varieties, and okay, a little bit about their functions. Okay. Then we talked about, okay, and last but not the least is going to be, yes, okay, you were, okay, the waste. Okay. So mainly as a part of that, just okay, you can say, okay, blood is able to maintain homeostasis. What about homeostasis? The internal, ideal internal environment of the body. Any questions? Good. So guys, let's take an early LB. And I will see you guys back at, should we say, 12:20. And we will start talking about the, yes, we start talking about the form components of blood, or rather known as the cellular components or the cells of blood. Okay, guys? Okay, have fun with that. And unless somebody have any questions. Nope. And I guess we can just continue. So we said blood. And okay. What we will be talking about is going to be sorry. The form components of blood, also referred to as the cells. Okay. But before we get to the cells, let's just do it this way and say all cells, or let's say not all, because that's an exception. Most of the blood cells. Okay, most of the blood cells are derived from stem cells found in the bone marrow. Yeah, okay. We can actually say that, okay, yes, let's do it this way. That some stem cells becoming what we call blood cells. That actually is going to just okay be due to a process called hematopoiesis. Yep, okay. Now we can talk of our, and just if you guys didn't get it yet, but the four components or form components makes 50 or 45% of the blood volume, which was the total blood volume was 5 to 6 liters or 10 to 12 pints. Now, guys, when we talk blood cells, we are mainly going to have three major types of blood cells. All red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Now, red blood cells, we also could call them erythrocytes. White blood cells could be called leukocytes. And the platelets called thrombocytes. Now, guys, our white blood cells mainly can be divided into two major groups. One group is going to be what we will call granulocytes. Whereas the other group of white blood cells will be what we'll call agranulocytes. Now, guys, when we say granulocytes, there's going to be three types of cells. There's still going to be leukocytes, okay, but which are going to be considered as being granulocytes. And they mainly go under the name or names neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils. So all these three dudes here are still white blood cells, but grouped together as what we'll call the granulocytes. The other type, sorry, the other type of, let's see, white blood cells is going to be agranulocytes, and what falls under this category is going to be two main types of cells. One is going to be called the monocytes. And the other one is going to be what we'll call lymphocytes. Did you guys get that? So we can mainly say that this is a family tree of the formed elements or cells in the blood. Now, just to do one last thing is, if we took all the blood cells, red, white, and platelets, 99% of the cells in the blood is going to be red blood cells. 99% of blood cells are going to be the red blood cells. Very mainly can say that, yes, that your white blood cells, no matter which subtype it is, together with the platelets, makes up 1% of the cellular population of the blood. So these two, the white blood cells and the platelets together only make up 1% of the entire population of your blood cells. whereas 99% of all your blood cells are going to be red blood cells. Did you guys get that? Anybody in doubt?
I just have a quick question. When
No.
you put cellular components and then you put most blood cells are what?
Nope. I never said the most blood cells are white.
No, not white, but I'm asking what did you put on that sentence?
Most of the blood cells, and the reason I say most, you will realize that tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. So most blood cells are going to be formed from stem cells, which you find in the bone marrow. Okay. And the reason I didn't say all is that there's going to be a subtype of blood cells which are not derived from stem cells in the bone marrow. Did you get that, Michelle?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Now that subtype, we will mention that tomorrow when we talk about. Okay. But at large, if you want to say, okay, I'm not going to talk about, going into minute details. We can still say, okay, at large, most blood cells are okay. Blood cells mainly will be formed from stem cells in the bone marrow. Okay, the process by which stem cells develops into blood cells can commonly just be referred to as hematopoiesis. Okay, where you mainly can say the process of formation of the form elements or blood cells is called hematopoiesis. Where hematomelius meant blood, OE formation. And when you say formation, that's mainly because you form something which has a shape or something like that, right? Okay. That makes sense? So these cells here, are going to be formed elements mainly because, yes, they have a shape, they have a structure. There's plasma, just fluid. Okay, you place that in a round container, it's going to become round or change the shape of the container. You place that in a square, it's going to become fit into that. That's the difference between solids versus liquids or gases. Okay. What I mean is that most blood cells are going to be derived from stem cells found in the bone marrow. So blood cell or stem cells become blood cells and by the help of a process called hematopoiesis, which means for the process of formation of blood. Formation mainly is specified that this is going to be formation of the form components, which will be your cells. Okay. Now, what are the type of cells? Red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. 99% of your blood cells are going to be red blood cells. 1% of the remaining 1% is going to be the white blood cells, and the platelets together will make just 1% of the entire population of all blood cells. Okay, guys. So when we say red blood cells, abbreviated as RBC, are also known as erythrocytes. Clear? Okay. Now, one thing that we already have confirmed is 99% of blood cells are red blood cells. Now, the question then just arises, first and foremost, what's going to be the function of these red blood cells here? What's going to be their primary function? Okay, and nobody should be able to dispute that now, because their function is mainly you can say as either carry, if you don't like the word carry, you can even say transport of oxygen. So the primary job of your red blood cells or RBCs or erythrocytes is mainly to carry or transport oxygen. Primarily from where to where? From your lungs to the cells in the body. Okay. How does the oxygen ends up in your lungs? Well, that's going to be through the air that we inhale. Okay, but after that is going to be the job of the red blood cells in the blood to pick up that oxygen, carry it on to the tissues, and deliver it to the tissues and the cells. So that oxygen can be used to assist the cells, mitochondria, to carry out what we call cellular respiration, from which gets ATP from the breakdown of glucose in the presence of oxygen. Did you guys get that? Okay. Now our question may be, what is it that your red blood cells has? Because why couldn't it be any other cell in the body? Or let's say it's in the blood that would do this job of carrying oxygen. That's mainly because your red blood cell has a molecule. So it's actually due to the presence of a molecule in the red blood cells that enables the red blood cell to carry or transport oxygen. And the name of that molecule is hemoglobin. That's why I'm going to be wrong to say has a. Okay. Now, when we look at the hemoglobin, now we can maybe say, it got two functions. One function pretty much, was, well, like we said earlier, to carry the oxygen. Another function that, okay, people ask, okay, what the hell? It's not a real function. But we can mainly say, okay, that's going to just, okay, it's actually due to the hemoglobin that, okay, gives the blood its red color. So it's you as, okay, the coloring substance of your blood or of your red blood cells. But you can say it's okay, 99% of the blood cells in the blood were red. So that's mainly going to call that, okay, this is going to be what these cells here carry, which is the hemoglobin that gives the blood its red color. Okay, guys. Now, let us just look a bit at, okay, yes, the hemoglobin molecule. Now, guys, if you look at the name hemoglobin, you may realize that it has a globin, which is going to be as okay as protein molecule itself. So structurally, as okay, we can say as okay, this is the globin. It is going to be as okay a central protein molecule, which is going to be globin. Now, what we already know is that okay, as the word hemo or hem mainly as okay just means blood. Okay, but what we have beside hemoglobin, or what we have beside globin, and what becomes as okay the molecule of hemoglobin. Is going to be ferrous, which is mainly as okay just a chemical name for iron. Now, if you go to the pharmacy to pick up iron pills, you may walk those pharmacy aisles thin, like nothing, and still end up okay walking up to the pharmacy and say, well, okay, I'm looking for iron. And they may say, well, okay, I-22 at the bottom two shelves on the left side, or where they placed it. Don't come back to me tomorrow and say, my pharmacy doesn't have an I-22. Okay. But yes, okay, the reason that you may not find iron or have a hard time finding iron is that, okay, yes, you didn't know that, okay, iron is just an English name. The actual name is ferrous sulfate. Sulfate is just, okay, the salt here. So the actual thing is iron or ferrous. Okay. Yes, my dear.
Is ferrous called ferritin, or is that different? Does it
No, that's
go
a
to
different thing.
ferritin?
Yes. No. That's
Oh.
something different.
Okay. And did you say that the globin carries the ferrous?
But you can mainly say that's okay, hemoglobin. That's meaning it's okay, well, I just draw this thing here for you.
Mhm.
So you can look what the hemoglobin molecule looks like. Because okay, you're going to have a central globin, which okay, as from its name, we already as okay would know is a protein. Okay, onto which iron is going to be attached. Now, guys, when I earlier said that, well, okay, red blood cells' main job was to carry oxygen, carry or transport oxygen. Good. But what I also said was that, okay, it's mainly because that the red blood cells has the molecule called hemoglobin that enables it to carry the oxygen. Okay. But, if you want to get it, okay, more detail oriented, it's actually going to be as okay to this iron in the hemoglobin onto which the oxygen will combine. So it will not be wrong to say that it's the iron, which is a component of the hemoglobin, that forms a bond with the oxygen and carry it in the red blood cells. Did you guys get that? Okay, it's not wrong to say that red blood cells carries oxygen, but if you want to be more accurate, you can say, well, okay, it's the hemoglobin in the red blood cells that carries the oxygen. Okay, that's fine too. But it will be even more correct to say that no, it's the iron of the hemoglobin in the red blood cells that carries the oxygen. Did that make any sense? Right. Okay, guys. Now, just a little bit about it's okay, the red blood cell, because guys, we can say it's okay, a little fun fact about the red blood cell is it is the second smallest cell in the body. What would that mean? That mainly mean that there's only going to be one type of cell, which is going to be smaller than that of the red blood cell. As a matter of fact, that's okay. A red blood cell is going to be as okay, what we can say is okay, 7 micrometers. Okay. This is not even visible with, okay, as a regular microscope. So, okay, peace be with that. Okay. Now, if you say it's okay, 7 micrometers, yes, okay, that's super duper mooper small. Right, okay. But if we, for instance, okay, said 1 red blood cell, usually my students ask me, how much hemoglobin or how many molecules of hemoglobin is it that you will find in 1 red blood cell? in one single red blood cell. Any clues? Right now, any number counts.
1,000.
Huh?
1,000.
1,000?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's not 1,000.
Can you give us a hint? Is it more or less?
It's more.
Okay.
A lot more.
A million?
Nope. Not even close. Hold on to, yes, okay, your glasses, wigs, whatever. $128 million molecules of hemoglobin in one red blood cell. Okay. And I'm not even going to mention, yes, okay, how many red blood cells a normal adult human person will have. Okay, in his or her blood. That's a number which is even greater than that 128 million. And if you look at that, to each molecule of hemoglobin attaches 8 atoms of oxygen. You could just multiply that 8 by 128 million. That tells you, okay, how much oxygen is carried by one cell. And then you can go on and multiply that by the number of red blood cells. So that's okay, a lot of oxygen. Just for one person, not in a daytime, on 24 hours. Pretty much okay as per breath. Have fun doing that math. Okay. So get peace be with that. Now, let me just make sure that okay. Good. Now another fun factor of the red blood cells. Lifetime is anything between 90 to 120 days. So anything between is okay after being living for 3 to 4 months. The red blood cell has lived its life and is going to be broken down by a process called hemolysis. Now, most of this hemolysis is okay happens in the liver. Did you guys get that?
Sorry, can you just clarify what it says in red in the beginning?
Pardon me?
What it says in red before red blood cells?
Fun facts of red blood cell. What is another fun fact? That it only can live for 3 to 4 months. Or have a lifetime which normally will span between 90 to 120 days. Did you guys get that? Okay, guys. Now let's talk real business. Red blood cell. Or let's put it this way. Normal red blood cell. Now, what have we said so far? Was, okay, they make 90% of the blood population. Their primary job was to carry oxygen. What enabled them to do so was that red blood cells actually has a molecule called hemoglobin. Or on an average, actually each red blood cell will accumulate up to 128 million molecules of hemoglobin. Right, okay. That actually itself was a molecule which has a central globin protein onto which was attached iron, which actually enable, it means this molecule here which is going to enable the red blood cell to carry the oxygen. Called oxygen actually connects to the iron component of your hemoglobin molecule. Now, the reason that I wrote normal here is because there are going to be 4 characteristics of a red blood cell. The main is we'll say if we see something like this, that's going to mean that we are looking at a normal red blood cell. First and foremost, the red blood cell is going to have a very characteristic shape. And that shape is going to be referred to as being biconcave. Just give me a second, guys. Sorry, just for okay, let's resume. Biconcave. Now, guys, what does the word bi mean? Two. And the shape concave mainly is going to be like this. So it means going to have as a concave depression on both sides. Which means give you a red blood cell this characteristic shape here. Where we have as one concavity and another concavity. Okay, so this feature of being biconcave mainly explains the shape of, if you can say it's going to be the normal shape of a red blood cell. Did you guys get that? Now the question just arises, why in the blue? Is it that your red blood cell will need to have this shape? Mainly so that it will be able to squeeze or pass through super duper mooper small, narrow, microscopic blood vessels without rupturing or breaking down. Did that make sense? Okay, so this shape here made us gives gives the red blood cell the ability to pass through very small blood vessels. As far as shape is concerned, it's going to be referred to as being biconcave, which mainly means that it has it's going to have two concavities. Okay. So that was feature number 1. Next feature that explains or it's going to represent a normal red blood cell is that a normal red blood cell, or erythrocyte as we may call it, is going to be what we will call being anuclear. Now, when we look at the word nuclear pertaining to nucle, it's from the nucleus. And what the word A would mean is no. So what it actually means to be anuclear is that the cell, which cell? In this case, it's your red blood cells. Does not have a nucleus. Did that make sense or not? Now, you're probably not going to be sitting under and looking at red blood cells underneath a microscope. But if you ever were to and you see red blood cells with a nucleus, that means trouble. Okay. Ideally speaking, as a process, as a step of hematopoiesis, or for in this case, it's erythropoiesis, where the stem cell is going to become a red blood cell. What happens, because the stem cell has a nucleus, as it develops into becoming a red blood cell, it actually loses that nucleus. So you will not ideally see red blood cells with nucleus. And since they don't have a nucleus, that's why we refer to them as being anuclear. Okay, are not having nukes or weapons of mass destruction. Did that make sense? So anuclear will mean that it doesn't have a nucleus. Now, then some of you will say, now it doesn't have a nucleus. So is it even a cell? Because the nucleus was one of the, you can say, vital organelles of the cell. And that's why some people may say, it's not new. It doesn't have a nucleus. It doesn't have, that vital organelle. So in many cases, okay, you may see that people may refer to the red blood cell as the red blood corpuscle. They deny to call it a cell. Why use the word corpuscle? Although it's okay, the word corpuscle means okay, just come from corpus, which means body. But they may as okay just use this because well, no nucleus, no cell. Or if it doesn't have a nucleus, we know we would not like to call this thing here a cell. Okay, so they may as okay just satisfy themselves by calling it a red blood cell corpuscle. Or even if it's okay, you see the word red corpuscle, yes, okay, it will still mean, or it will still be referring to yes, okay, the red blood cell. But normally, yes, okay, a red blood cell will not have a nucleus, which mainly makes it anuclear. Okay, guys. Our next normal characteristic of the red blood cell. No, yes, okay. Thanks, Lord, because okay, here we can actually yes, okay, see the word norm. That indicates that okay, it's normal. And that's going to be normal cytic. Okay, where the word norm means yes, okay, it just means normal. Side would be cell and egg pertaining to. So that the word normocytic actually means normal cell. Okay, yes, if you look at it as a word, yes, okay. But the term actually means, or yes, okay, when we refer to it as being normocytic, mainly, yes, okay, is when we talk about the size. So if a cell is going to be as okay, or if a red blood cell is going to be referred to as being normocytic, is because it has that normal size, which we already said, okay, yes, was 7 micrometers. Did that make sense? Whereas, okay, yes, if it had, let's say, it's okay, reduced size, if it was smaller than normal, that actually is okay, was going to be referred to as being microcytic. Okay, MICROCYTIC, microcytic. Whereas, okay, on the other hand, the red blood cell was too big or increased in size, that mainly is okay, or be is okay, we mean it's okay, we'll call that macrocytic. MACROCYTIC. So microcytic if it's smaller than normal, macrocytic if it is okay, greater than normal. Or if it just falls into as okay, the normal size, that would be referred to as being normocytic. Did you guys get that? Any questions yet?
I was just rereading back to what you said about the iron attached to the hemoglobin. Did you say how the iron attaches to it?
No. It's not attached. It's the form of hemoglobin. So your
Oh, it's
hemoglobin
the
is going to be
form.
made. No. Your hemoglobin is going to be made of the globin onto which iron is attached. Okay. Without the iron, it would just have been globin. Clear?
Okay, I get
Okay.
it.
Without
Thank you.
globin, it would just have been iron. So it's those two things coming together that makes up the hemoglobin molecule.
Okay.
Did that make sense? Yeah.
Yes, so the globin and
And iron.
makes the hemoglobin molecule.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, dear guys. Now just last characteristic or last normal characteristic of your blood. Oh, no, sorry. Red blood cell. And what is that going to be? That's going to be that, okay, yes, we will still say that it is normal, which means that's okay, it just means norm. And the word here is going to be chromic. So normal, chromic, CHROM as in Michael. I see. And what does this normal chromic here is okay refer to? We mainly is okay, we'll just say it's okay, the normal color or tint or hue, as some people may say. And what's going to be is okay, the normal color of the red blood cell is going to be red. What gave it this red color here is okay, on large as okay was the hemoglobin. But more correctly as okay was the iron in the hemoglobin that gave the red blood cells its normal color, which will be referred to as being normal chromic. Okay. There will be instances because, okay, what do we say if its color is, let's say, it's okay, lighter than the normal color? Or you can say that light red, or actually as okay, it becomes very much okay, or will be pink, or in worst case scenarios, okay, pale. That instance is going to be referred to as being hypochromic. Did you guys get that? Yes, guys. Any questions? So that was your red blood cells. Okay, what are the normal 4 features of a red blood cell? Biconcave, which is a shape, anuclear, okay, which mainly means no nucleus, normocytic, which refers to as okay having the normal size, and normochromic, the normal color. Okay, what gave it its color? The hemoglobin. Oh, no. What gave it its color? The iron of the hemoglobin gave the red blood cells its normal color, which gives the blood its color. Did you guys get that? Now, the ladies and the gentlemen. Since day one, we have been talking about a condition known as anemia. We said, okay, it was a little bit, okay, yes. Aggression or aggressive word for the condition of blood. Because it mainly stated that, okay, yes, it was a condition in which the person didn't have blood. Okay. Now, what I will say is, okay, let's not get that aggressive. Okay, but we can mainly say that, okay, as anemia is going to be a qualitative. Now, when I say qualitative, that means, okay, it's pertaining to quality. And quantitative. Now, when I say quantitative, that's going to be as okay quantity. Deficiency of red blood cells. Because usually, guys, or not usually, whenever we talk anemia, we now know that, okay, it's not going to be complete loss, complete absence of blood cells. Okay. We can say as okay, there may be a reduce in the quantity that we are going to be as okay, deficient in red blood cells. Okay. And or we may still have, okay, as a normal quantity of red blood cells. The count matches. We're supposed to have, okay, as XYZ trillion red blood cells, for instance. Normally, but we are low on that count. Right, okay, the count is fulfilled, but the quality of those cells are not meeting the golden standards. So yes, okay, they may be of poor quality. And even that poor quality of the red blood cells will lead to anemia. Did you guys get that? You can say you can have anything. You may spit 20,000 of those things into the circulation. Okay, you fulfill the number, but it's okay if they are of poor quality, they don't know how to do their job. They can go from 20,000 to 20 or 200,000, from 200,000 to 2 millions, from 2 millions to 2 billions. But if they don't know how to do their job, will the job be done well enough? No. Okay. Now, when we look at anemia, there can actually, as okay, be different reasons. Or we can look at there could be different ways of okay, as classifying anemia. But if you classify anemias based on their, or what we can say is okay, that causes the anemia, or based on the cause of the anemia. That's going to be as okay what we'll call etiology. Well, okay, guys, when you go for your scanning and they talk about conditions and so on, so the first thing that you will come across is etiology, which mainly means what's the cause behind this thing. Now, say it's okay, an example that I'd love to give. You say lung cancer, what is the etiology for that? Smoking. Okay. So etiology for lung cancer could be smoking. So you base the if you classify your anemias based on the what causes the anemia, that's going to be as okay. You can say as okay and etiological classification. Now, one of these causes can be that you just have okay as a reduced production of red blood cells. Or what I mean is okay, let me check here. So we get going to be okay due to malabsorption of different substances. Okay. But remain is okay, do not absorb the nutrients that may be vital to yes, okay, of the body produce the red blood cells. You can find this okay, say iron. But we mean it's okay, we just check iron separately. There's a substance called folate. It's a mineral, which is okay as a vital ingredient of the cell membrane of the red blood cell. Okay. Now, there are people who may suffer from an intestinal disease called intestinal sprue, which actually causes them not to be able to absorb folate or enough folate to produce enough red blood cells. So it's okay, you can say malabsorption or nutritional anemia. We can take another example. Now this is going to be, it's okay, we'll say hemorrhagic anemia. Now what was anemia? Just that low quantity. In this case, it's going to be a low quantity of your red blood cells. Okay, but what caused that? Due to a massive bleeding. Okay, God forbid, somebody gets into a bad accident or breaks a couple of bones. What's going to happen? A massive bleeding. He or she may lose quite a great volume of his or her blood. That's all, not only going to be plasma that's going to just exit the body along with the plasma goes a big population of the cell. So that person becomes anemic, right? What caused him or her to become anemic was mainly because of the hemorrhage or the bleeding. So that would be hemorrhagic anemia. Did you guys get that? Good. Another one. We can say, okay, now that maybe it's okay, what they call is okay, aplastic anemia. Okay. But okay, I hear the word plastic again. It's okay, comes from plasti, which for me is okay, formation. Or we can say it's okay, development of cells. So when you say it's okay, aplastic anemia is okay, mainly because the bone marrow, pretty much okay, that what happens. The bone marrow is okay, may get suppressed and is going to be unable to produce red blood cells. Okay, that's pretty much okay what happens with a lot of patients who, for instance, okay, undergo chemotherapy and things like that. Okay, a lot of those drugs are severely marrow toxic towards the marrow or bone marrow or stem cells and so on. So, okay, so what may happen as okay, unfortunately, an unwanted effect of a lot of those drugs is that the patient actually becomes severely anemic, mainly because of bone marrow suppression. That means okay, it takes away from the bone marrow to be able to produce blood cells. On the other hand, yes, okay, your blood cells are going to be hemolyzed because okay, whatever you had, once they live their lifetime of 3 to 4 months, are going to just okay get hemolyzed. So you lose more than you are able to replace or reproduce. So you become hemolytic, right? Did that make sense? Okay. Now, there's going to be one subtype of anemia that anemia, okay, just will take a little bit separately. And we just refer to that one as being iron deficiency anemia. Now the word here is okay, pretty much okay, explains what it means. That a person is suffering from anemia mainly because he or she is usually she, is deficient in iron. What would that mean? You can mainly as okay, roughly say that okay, yes, each red blood cell is going to be low in hemoglobin. The person here, yes, okay, may have a normal red blood cell count. So as far as, okay, the quantity of red blood cells are concerned, no problem with that. It's rather the quality that is affected. Okay, and when we talk of red, that's okay, iron deficiency anemia. Okay, how that mainly is okay will be, you can say, okay, diagnosed is that the patients are going to have red blood cells which are going to be microcytic. What that mean? Smaller in size. So if we say that, okay, yes, if this was the size of a normal red blood cell, what we mainly will see is, okay, what be microcytic is, they're going to be smaller in size. So that smaller size red blood cell is going to be microcytic. And that's what commonly as, okay, can be seen in iron deficiency anemia. Now, if any of you have been paying a little bit of attention, as I said, the hemoglobin here provided color to the cell, the normal red color that the red blood cell had, which we'll call normochromic. Which was pretty much okay due to the hemoglobin or due to the iron in the hemoglobin molecule. As we say, it's okay in iron deficiency anemia. When a person has less hemoglobin, or let's say it's okay, even if he or she had normal amount of hemoglobin, but if that hemoglobin was low in iron, the red blood cell is not going to have its normal red color, but actually it's okay be more pinkish, or maybe it's okay even pale. You can say, okay, light red becomes pink. But we're not going to say pink or pale red blood cells. Because technically, if it was just says, okay, that there will be hypochromic. So microcytic and hypochromic red blood cells pretty much as okay will indicate that the person suffers from the form of anemia, which is going to be iron deficiency anemia. That he or she is deficient in iron. Okay, so this is actually like a subtype of anemia. Right? What can be a reason for that? Well, okay, yes. And that's why I say it's okay, commonly seen in women versus men. Blood loss during the menstruation makes, sorry girls, women a little bit more prone to suffer from this. Okay. Maybe it's okay, some of you don't like to eat things which are rich in iron, like liver. Okay. Green leafy vegetables. Have any of you ever wondered, yes, okay, why Popeye the Sailor likes spinach? There might have been, okay, as an advertisement for, yes, okay, spinach. So people say, okay, you can only get big and strong like Popeye the Sailor if you eat spinach. Okay, but that's fine, guys. Yes, okay, even men can be suffering from, yes, okay, iron deficiency anemia. But it's like, okay, as me, yes, okay, specifically, yes, okay, that type of anemia where the red blood cells mainly as okay will be low in iron. Yeah, okay, so the cells mainly will be microcytic and hypochromic. What does it mean to be microcytic? Cytic, sorry, smaller in size. Hypochromic, low in chrome or cinder color. So you just says, okay, add more white into red, it becomes lighter and lighter pink. Or may become so dim pink that it actually is, okay, appears to be pale. Okay, and mainly because, okay, people who were anemic are pale. They say, okay, it looks like he or she doesn't have any blood. And that's why they call it anemia in the first place. Did you guys get that?
I have a quick question.
Mhm.
Can you just go over real quick what aplastic anemia was?
Aplastic anemia, now my dear, if you look at the word aplastic, A just means no or absence of. Here, plastic come from plasty or plasia, if you want to put it that way. If you remember from medical term, I say plasia was increase of number of cells. When cells can only increase in number if they are being produced. Clear? Okay. So aplastic anemia mainly is going to be as okay that your body, or let's say is okay, your bone marrow in this case here is okay, is not able to form red blood cells. That form of anemia will be referred to as being aplastic. Okay. Okay. Anemia caused by no formation of blood cells.
Thank you.
Okay. So the whole thing is in the word itself. But yes.
I just have a
Hi.
question.
Okay,
So,
just join the class.
oh, I was gonna say that, so a woman that has like heavy menstrual cycles, wouldn't that affect the quantity rather than the iron quality? Because she's losing all the blood?
Well, yes, okay, you can put it that way. But okay, that was just like, okay, this is okay, one of the reasons. Okay. One of the reasons for it. But it's okay. We mainly find as okay, iron deficiency anemia to be more common in women. But you can also say, well, okay, wouldn't that be as okay a form of hemorrhagic anemia because due to bleeding?
Right.
Okay. But so this is mainly going to be as okay, what they will find out is okay when they look at the cells and say, well, they are smaller than normal, they appear paler than normal. So that microcytic, hypochromic pinpoints that okay, yes. And what the most likely is okay, we'll say then is okay, you know what, dear, you need to go to the pharmacy, look at the bottom two shelves on I-22, where you will find your iron pills. Take some iron supplements, says okay, if you don't like to eat foods which are rich in iron. Okay, guys, last form of anemia that we may talk about. Hemolytic anemia. Now, what the main emphasis is going to be is okay, blood. Oopsie. Breakdown. Now, guys, please keep in mind it's all a matter of the balance. Hemolytic or hemolysis, whether you like it or not, is going to occur. Clear? Okay. But you may, yes, okay, end up being diagnosed with, okay, there's hemolytic anemia. If the breakdown of red blood cells is greater than the production. Clear? Okay. Now, so that will be a bit. But in hemolytic anemia, guys, there's going to be one subtype. Now, some of you may have heard about it. If not, well, okay, yes, here it is, or here what it is about. And that's what they call the sickle cell anemia. Now, the reason that we call it anemia is mainly because, in this instance here, there's going to be a reduced quantity of the red blood cells. Now, guys, if you remember what I said was that, for the normal cells, we said that they had that normal shape, which was biconcave. Which actually is going to be important in this case here. Now, what may happen in sickle cell anemia? Now, let us just put it this way, that a person with who suffers from what you call sickle cell anemia, well, he or she will be living a normal life. You can say Hakuna Matata. The point where the thing goes wrong is if a dead person goes to areas with low oxygen concentration, whether that is scuba diving, or that's climbing up to high altitudes. Because what happens then is, due to that low oxygen in the atmosphere, he or she will not be able to get enough oxygen. And what actually happens is that the cell go from this biconcave shape here. Actually, it's to become sickle shaped. And what we said was, the whole benefit of this biconcave shape here was mainly it's going to enable the red blood cell to be able to squeeze through small or narrow blood vessels. That is going to be lost once that shape goes from any shape to a sickle cell. Now, biconcave in this case is shaped into a sickle. So maybe because the cells become sickle shaped, which means will cause that as these will not be able to squeeze through the blood vessel, but actually as gets hemolyzed. Lead to as that the person actually will lose a lot of blood cells, which makes him or her anemic. Now, if that wasn't enough of trouble, But actually, that's okay. Also happens due to that's okay that low exposure of oxygen is that the hemoglobin actually is okay crystallizes. And just become yes, okay, sharp spikes if you want to put that. Okay. That means okay, that's going to make it even more difficult for this misformed cell here to be able to squeeze through the smaller, narrower blood vessels. And that's going to be okay, an increased amount of hemolysis. Okay. But there are certain conditions where it's okay, sickle cell anemic or not, that there will be as okay an increased hemolysis. Certain fevers, infections may cause that, okay, it's going to cause the red blood cells to get more easily hemolyzed. And the patient, yes, okay, may get, you can say it's okay, not extremely, but it's okay, slightly anemic due to that as well. Now, dear guys, or dear students, as I should call you, I guess this was all that I could tell you about the red blood cell. Unless I got stuck by an apple in the middle of the night and wake up with palpitations and whatnots and say, okay, how could I forget about telling my students this? But right now, it's okay, on top of the head. This was all that I could offer for the red blood cells. So tomorrow we'll talk about the platelets, white blood cells and platelets. And okay, let's take it from there. Now take care. God bless you guys and enjoy the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Good day.